Hey guys, welcome back to the Flesh and Blood video. So I gotta be honest, I'm playing Bravo today, and I think y'all need to strap in. It's some pretty lackluster gameplay, if I'm being honest. I'm not a very good Bravo player. It was kind of the reason for me playing Bravo is to try to dip my toe in other waters and just try to make myself a better player by understanding better other strategies better. And so I really feel like this was a good first step in learning to do that. Went 2-2 in the league here, but it was a good learning experience, and you can definitely see some of my inexperience coming into the games and the gameplay here. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. All right, it appears. Yes, finally. I do not think this is a good matchup, but I'm not sure. We definitely want these. It says target attack action cards can't gain. I mean, Pulverize is probably these here. Honestly, I think we could just bring these in and just not bring in the Pulverizes and just leave everything else the way it is. Because we want all the blues we have in our deck. Staunch response seems really good. You can fatigue Dory, just block everything, attack with hammer. Really? Remember that time we waxed a quarter of the lobby? Yes, I do remember that time, and it was a great game. I still can't believe we killed like that many people in one game. All me? That's right, all you, Ben. You seriously, you can fatigue Dory? Like, are we 100% sure about that? We'll put that on top. I'm just going to go ahead and do this because I don't want to leak any damage. Plus, I just want to get a card out of the way to be able to Spinal Crush. Maybe we can Bravo Spinal Crush. That would be awesome. Waxed on, wax off. Yeah, because they have to hit the first time. And they'll do things like Overpower turn 1. Alright, cool. I mean, I'm down for it. Okay, so we get to make a Seismic Surge, and we get to Spinal Crush for 9 here. And we get to Arsenal of Sink Below. Feels like a pretty good start to the game to me. They did put a lot of cards in their deck. They obviously must have played against this matchup before and realized that I must try to fatigue them. Like, the fact that there's a red Overpower out of their deck on turn 1 is really cool. That's right. Enjoy the shadows. Eee! I'm pretty sure you made that noise more than one time last night when we were playing Fortnite. You gotta give it a second, Andrew. I think it takes like 5 seconds to cool down or something like that. I have Nightbot set up so that people can't just spam the chat. Our opponent's in the tank here pretty hard about what they should be doing. I mean, they could throw 4 pieces. They could throw 4 with equipment, and they could throw 1 card and block 7. Take 2. Now, I mean, they could also just throw these 2 equipment and then a card. Oh, they're just going to cover it up. Interesting. I'm a boomer. That's funny. Man, this hand sucks. Yeah, this hand is not good. We'll just hammer for 4, make a Seismic Surge. I think it's good to cycle back through one of the defense reactions there. I mean, we've already seen, what, 2 Foreseens? There was the third one. That was an unfortunate hand, LMAO. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure, dude. least our opponent has a sense of humor. I joke, I don't care that much. But yeah, if y'all are on later on, just let me know. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll yell at you later, man. If Andrew is a boomer, just put me in the grave now. Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, I appreciate our opponents. Our opponents, like, you know, they're sorry for laughing at us, but I'm like, dude, don't be sorry. Like, laugh at me, laugh at me. Probably kind of weird when I say it like that, but. This feels like a good block 6 if they do something we have sink below hand. Whee! Yikes, good sink. I don't think there's really a card I want to put on the bottom here. We're just going to hammer for 6 and make a Seismic Surge. So, I mean, I guess technically we could Chokeslam for 6. I think it's better to keep the cards in my deck, though. Plus, we're putting pressure on our opponent here pretty decently, so they're forced to block. No kink shaming around here. Take a turn off or not do anything sometimes. Yeah, this kind of feels like the matchup where, like, if you're gonna take a turn off, like there probably are turns when it's okay to take turns off. I mean, is this block 9 hammer for 4? Feels pretty lackluster in my opinion. I don't know, I kind of want to put pressure on our opponent here because we can block 3, take 3, or whatever they do, and then we can activate Bravo and then come in for 9, dominate. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably wrong. Yeah, I mean, I know it doesn't have go again. But they could give it go again with a reaction, especially like a 1-coster from hand. Ooh. Oh, they didn't. I was like, wow, they're really going to bust that this early in the game? And then we'll come in for 9 dominate. I don't know. It feels not bad. Like, if we can put pressure on our opponent, like, they're going to have to block from Arsenal, like, with some equipment here, or they're just going to have to put their card on the bottom of their deck. Or maybe have the sink below? No. They just put the card on the bottom of their deck. Interesting. Well, we can block Terra Asunder and then... Alright, so we can... block 3, and then if they do stuff, we'll have Oasis Respite or Staunch Response here. Oasis Respite's probably better, because Staunch Response allows us to be able to... They're just giving it go again and they draw a card. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do anything. I mean, I could just dump this and pitch 6 into this and stop them from, like, getting anything here. Or wait. No, I don't have enough because it costs 6, not 4. Math be hard. I guess I could Oasis Respite and Staunch Response if I wanted to. Doesn't really feel worth that to me. Alternatively, I mean, it does have Go again. It's probably worth it just to play both my cards. Because we get to stop them from hitting again. Because even if it has Go again, it can't attack again. Yeah, I was like, because Dory says it has to hit to be able to attack the second time, right? You may attack additional time. Yeah. So, yeah, we have to... And then we'll pay 2, and we'll just cover it all up here. Yeah, I was like, they have their action point back, but they can't attack with Dawnblade. And then we're just going to pass here. I'm going to be honest. If they don't do something crazy, I might just take their turn here, because being able to dominate a Crippling Crush is pretty bonkers. I mean, 2, 4, 5. So, it's actually not that good, because a card from hand is just kind of like covers it up. If you Staunch, you can see what they do with Oasis and Arsenal Oasis. Never mind, block for 8. I mean, yeah, so, like, the problem was that, like, I get, like, if we take one, we let them attack with the Dawnblade again. And then we're forced to throw other cards. I'm not going to lie. I really want to keep that. Like, I really want to keep this hand and just force some cards out of their hand and their equipment here. Guess I can always block it the second time if I need to with my equipment. Because it has to hit twice to get a counter. Gains Go again. Alright, so we basically have to throw all our equipment at it, and that just feels wrong. We can block 9 and Arsenal the Crippling Crush. Or I could block 9 and swing Hammer for 4. Let's Arsenal the Crippling Crush and block 9 here. I personally think that's better. And then if we can keep a card here... Actually, if we can keep 2 cards, what we can do is... What does Spoils of War say? Is that the... Your next weapon attack gets +2 and Go again. And whenever it hits, create 2 copper. So they have 3 cards in hand and none floating. So I like blocking 6 and holding up Sink Below here. And just like, it might have Go again, but it has to hit for them to be able to play anything. Unless they have a Twinning Blade. I mean, I don't think they can, like, without Tunic being up, they can't even do anything else, I'm pretty sure. I know I blocked with 2 blue Pummels early. And I haven't seen a red one yet, I don't think. Like, I don't think I even put one on the bottom or anything. Alright, so... We've cycled a Fate Foreseen. So that means we have a Sink Below, an Oasis Respite, and 2 Staunch Responses left in the deck. Like, that we're going to see first cycle to try and put pressure on our opponent. Huh. I feel like right now we're definitely seeing my lack of knowledge as far as Dory is concerned as a whole. I think it's better to just swing 4 here than to make a Seismic Surge, because 3 blues in our hand allows us to dominate a Crippling Crush. Okay, so this is weird because I mean, there's not really much play here that we have. Like, it feels like our best play is block for 5. Probably best to block for 6, so we'll block with the Iron Rot Legs. Disable, Pummel, Iron Rot Legs, and then we have Seismic Surge Hammer. I mean, I guess they could have an Overpower, so maybe it's right to throw a Tectonic Plating here. Let's see. They've played 2 red Overpowers, so the likelihood of them having a red Overpower here is not very high. But it's still better to play around that here, I think. I'm curious to see what they have or what they do here. Like, the fact that they're hesitating tells me that their hands isn't this great. I'm looking at these stickers you got down here, and I want the Owen Wilson wow sticker. That is pretty funny. I do like the way he... Wow! I do like the way he says that. So I'm not going to lie. I think if we had blocked for 6 there, we would have been in bad shape. Like, they thought a lot about what they were doing, and I think had we only blocked for 6, we would have been in bad shape. Okay, so this hand's going to be pretty good, because they just took what we did there. Or maybe they just needed their whole hand. Alright, what do they play? Gets +3, and if this hits, it gains Go Again. And gets +2, and whenever this hits, draw a card. So this is a block like your life depends upon it hand. So we can block 5, 6 with the Tectonic Plating, and then through Staunch Response for 11. This way, even if they have a +3, they'd have to have a route in Arsenal to be able to get us here. Yeah, they have to have a route here to get us. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to pass on our turn. It's kind of funny. I feel like we're the ones being fatigued. Wow, this all red hand is terrible. I mean, we can block with Spinal Crush and Crown of Providence, put Crippling Crush on the bottom, and then hope to hit a blue to be able to come in with our Crippling Crush. Or it's block with the Pummel. No, because that's 1 less point. And I mean, I guess we could go Pummel, Crown, Crater Fist for 6. The fact that my opponent pitched a red here makes me think that their hand is awkward. But they could just be baiting us into doing that so that they can get us here. Like, maybe the obvious play is block 6. And then... So we block 6... And then we make a surge and come in with the hammer for 4. Man, we're at least forcing them to have something here. Okay. I mean, that card's really good because it's just a free cantrip. Like, it gives your weapon go again, and it just cantrips. Like, it's so good. Alright, here we go. Time for the magic. Alright. Card from his or her hand, draw a card, then put a card from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck. Alright. Player 2 puts a card on the bottom of their deck. I have no reactions. And if we're lucky, you don't either. Not likely, but... Yep. Yep. Yeah, so... So they pitch a red to come in for 3, which means they'd have to have something for 0, which is like not non-existent, but also not very likely. Is there anything they can do? These are all... That's a reaction that gives go again. This is an action. So I guess I'm just going to block 3, and then I'm going to use Pummel to activate Tectonic Plating. And then I'm just going to try to set up and have a Crippling Crush turn. I mean, that's the first red Pummel we've seen. Or no, I'm sorry, it's the second one. Ugh. I was like, because if it's the first one we've seen, then there's a decent chance there's another one coming around, but... And the last thing we want in the entire world is to let Dawnblade get some counters on it. I mean... Let's see, so this costs 6, so... Man... We could just... just come to terms with blocking with our equipment this turn. Keeping every card in our hand because we have pitch a blue, activate Bravo, 1 left. And then we pitch another blue to activate Crater Fist. And then we... pitch our 2 cards to come in with Crippling Crush, and we have 1 floating, and we're coming in for 13 Dominate. And our opponent has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they have a defense reaction, they're in a pretty good spot, because I'm pretty sure Dory normally plays defense reactions. Or I could just block for 6 here. And then keep these cards, and then Crippling Crush for 11. Or I could just say no blocks here. Yeah, I'm just gonna say no blocks here. Yeah, we'll see what our opponent does here. Like, we're forced to block on the second one if they don't do anything, but so they still get to keep all their cards. I mean, am I okay with just going to like 20 basically, which is probably what it'll be, and just giving them a counter to do my 13 Crippling Crush? I kind of think I am, which is weird. I mean, I guess technically I should have thrown the Crater Fist just to save 2 points. That was me not thinking, because I even talked about blocking with my Crater Fist this turn because I knew I was going to get rid of it. That was just kind of me being dumb. And honestly here, my opponent's probably sitting there going, does he have a Staunch response? Because if I do have a Staunch response, and they play a reaction, and I flash it in to block for 8 or something like that, like, they're up a creek. So yeah, they're going to force me to make the first move, which I think is pretty smart. Because honestly, the funny part is, like, I can just go back to, like, blocking a bunch if I need to. Activate Bravo. $13 Dominate. This feels pretty good. Feels like we're like IKEA Starvo, like build your own Starvo ability. Except it doesn't have go again. Man, whew, would be bonkers. Plus, also, 13 is just a lot of damage. Like, wow. One floating, so they could have like a +3, which means we need to block 7. Or, yeah. Which is tough, because if you want the truth, I kind of just want to throw a blue card here. Like, I kind of just want to throw a blue and then, like, pummel for 10. Or hammer for 10, but I think it's better to play around it. Yeah, I'd rather just keep both the blues in my hand. Block with a route, huh? Alright. I'd consider that a win every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That resolves. Thrust. Is that a generic attack reaction? A 1 for 3? Alright. Have they played any more routes? I might have pitched some, but I haven't seen any played yet. Kind of like blocking for 6, and just if they do something, they do something. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, now that kind of sucks. I guess I didn't. Oh, they played the card beforehand. I wasn't even thinking about that. I think I'm at a place where I'm just okay going to 16 here. And I'm just going to come in for 4. I mean, because they're forced to start blocking at some point. Like, we're still up 9 and we're getting to Arsenal and Oasis Respite. The funny part is I've only had one big turn this entire game. The rest of the game has just been, like, me blocking, trying to block effectively, and get points in when I can get points in. Yep, we're going to Arsenal this and pass to our opponent here. Sharpen Still. So it gets +3. Oh, they're playing Razor. Target sword or dagger. I mean, block 3, play Sink Below. I'm going to choose not to sink anything. We get to make a surge and then come in for 6. I mean, I was like, they're getting to the point where they're going to have to start giving us equipment or cards from their hand. Like, and they've given us a card normally every time. This is finally a defense reaction from our opponent. This is this Oasis Respite. Still Blade Shunt. I mean, Still Blade Shunt's good because they cover it up and they deal 1 to us. So this is for 6. So we block 2. I'm gonna Fate Foreseen here. We'll put that on the top. Maybe we can like try to take one of their turns and have a bigger turn here. I mean, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fight you over this. We'll make a Seismic Surge and we'll Anothos for 4. It's pretty unfortunate we couldn't for 6 here. So if they really like their hand, they can throw 2 pieces of equipment here. Do we have any Pummels left in the deck? I don't think so, but is there like 1 red one left in the deck somewhere? Yeah, there's 1 red Pummel left in the deck. I mean, that might be how we have to do it. We might just have to commit to keeping a 3-card hand and just trying to pummel our way to victory. Blocks with a Twinning Blade. Interesting. Gains go again. Yeah, so that just basically says go again, and then Steel Blade Supremacy. I mean, I kind of like blocking for 5. And then if they do something, we pitch a card and play Oasis Respite. Like, we're at that point in the end of the game, like, where they don't have that many good things to do. Hammer for 6. Okay. Does this just play like Control Dash or something, where you have to block? Like, you have to, like, get rid of a lot of cards early and then not later? So that would be no different than Hammer for 7. Now, that would be pretty good. And it's going to cost 5. But we can't make that happen. It kind of feels like a route. I'm actually just gonna block 3, and if they have something here, I'm just gonna play the Oasis Respite. I was like, and if they don't do anything else here, we do get to tear Asunder Hammer, which is pretty cool because it does require, we are finally gonna get some equipment pieces out of it. Action. Pay 4. Destroy a copper, draw a card. I mean, okay. Like, they can cover this up with 2 equipment pieces and a card, so we're only going to get 1 card, but we are finally going to get some decent things. Like, we're finally going to get equipment here. Oh, he has a Steel Blade Shunt. We go to 14. So it gets +3, and if it hits, it gains Go Again. So we can block with Rouse, Chokeslam, and Legs. And then if they do something, we get to pitch the Pummel to Oasis Respite, and then we get to hammer for 4. So there's a Staunch response still left in the deck that we have. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like we're getting fatigued. I don't really understand the whole "we'll fatigue them" plan. Also, probably has a lot to do with my lack of knowledge in the matchup. Pitch a Macho Grande to come in for 4. And our opponent could always just take 4 and go to 2 here. It is a moderately dangerous game, but I was like, our opponent had to pitch a few red cards, so there's a few red cards coming back around here, but they take 1. I mean, we could block 6 and just hammer. Or we could see what they do and then attempt a Macho Grande for 8 and make a Seismic Surge. So we go to 7, give this a counter, and then come in for 8 Dominate, or we just block 2 cards and then hammer for 6. I think block 2 cards, hammer for 6 is just better. We prevent this thing from getting a counter. It's kind of funny. I've only ever played against Dory 1 time with Bravo, and the 1 time I played against it, I literally just raced it. Like, I didn't even bring in the defense reactions. I just straight up raced the deck. It was a very poor decision. It was a very odd game. See? Now we're getting these good cards out of their deck, which is nice. Put a 1/1 counter on it. I mean, if this is a route that they've been sandbagging this whole game, and they have it right here, it would be very good. In fact, it would be almost assuredly a blowout. Am I playing around the blowout play, though? Or am I just playing around... I think it's fine. I don't know. If we get blown out, we get blown out. We still get to hammer for 6 here. Oh, wow. I just didn't have it. Or they decided that that wasn't the time. I mean, I have to say, if that is a route in my opponent's arsenal, they have more patience than any human being I know on the face of the planet. Blocking with all their red cards this late in the game is kind of cool. Like... Okay, so we can play Staunch Response here, or they are catching us on cards. Yeah, Dory having 0 counters compared to 1 is massively different. A lot of time, they're playing 1 route or none. Oh, really? I didn't know that they only played 1. I think they don't play route because you have a lot of defense reactions. That's fair. That makes sense. I'm kind of tempted to just block here, like block 3 here with the Showtime. Like, having the Staunch Response makes me feel like I can block pretty... pretty loosely here. That was last turn. I mean, it doesn't have Go Again right now, so they're going to have to play that. Then we're going to play the Asunder, not give them Go Again. We'll put a card back in the deck and get some cards out of their hand. I am going to go down to 6 cards here. Like, we're forcing them to catch us on cards. I also think they just had more cards in their deck. Like, they had 65 cards in their deck. Maybe they were prepared to play this like late game fatigue plan. Like, maybe I should have just put in erase faces and other things. I mean, I don't know why, but like, I don't know why I would have. So, how crazy is it to committing to blocking 3 here and just holding the Pummel? We're doing it. I'm doing it. I'm not even going to make a search here. I'm just going to attack with the hammer, and then if they block 3, it's a blowout. All right, so we take 3, go to 8. This gets Go Again. Or no, Razor doesn't give a Go Again, does it? Just gives it +3. Pummel Macho. Could I even do that? I couldn't even have done that, could I? I don't even think that was possible. Yep. No blocks. It's like if you have a +4, I'm dead. Let's see if we get him. Let's see if we get him. I don't know. We might just be able to get our opponent here. Not likely. They've played this game very well, so like there's not a high chance that we're just gonna like get them with the Pummel play here, but maybe we get lucky. I mean, if you just block like this and you don't have a defense reaction, you are dead. Now, I believe there is still one Stillblade Shunt in their deck. Unless I missed one early on. No, there should still be one left in their deck. And they have to be so much happier with just like using the Tunic to like Stillblade Shunt here. So they're taking 2, going to 2 here. I mean, there's no way for us to play the Macho Grande here, sadly. It's not really a way for us to do much of anything except for hammer here. Block Chokeslam. Cranial Crush. I mean, if you have a +4 here, you have a +4. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, that's coming for 6. They'll probably block with the Skull Cap here, I imagine. Like, Skull Cap and give me a card so that they can keep 3 cards in their hand. Or they have a Stillblade Shunt here. So I'm going to go to 3. Now that is all the Stillblade Shunts. Asunder Hammer does not win the game from here. And if it hits, it gets go again. Okay, so Overpower, they've played all of those. Iron Song Response is a scary card. What's the 1-for-3 card? They played one pretty early in the game. Out for Blood, that's the 1-for-3. So, Out for Blood, Out for Blood, Out for Blood. Alright, so all the Out for Bloods are out of their deck. They probably have a Razor, if I had to guess. Man. I don't know if there's a winning line for me here. Because if I block 9, they don't do anything. And then I only have 3 cards left in my deck. And then on my turn, I get to hammer for 4. And then, or if I block 6 and they have Razor, it gets go again. And then they get to attack for 4. And I mean, am I forced to block 6 here and just hope they don't have it? I think I'm forced to block 6 here and hope they don't have it. Alright. Remembrance. Oh, that's scary. It's probably going to win in the game, honestly. Like, because we're going to hammer for 6, and then we're going to have 4 cards left in our deck. Winning is block with 2 cards. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What cards do they put back in their deck? Warriors Valor, Warriors, all 3 Warriors Valor. They just put them into their deck. I mean, they definitely put in enough cards to prepare for the fatigue side of this matchup, and I did not. And so I think ultimately that's why they're going to win. That, and I feel like I probably should have taken more turns early in the game to be more aggressive. Oh, it's probably going to cost me the game, but I think I have to block 3 here and try to keep cards in my deck. Yep. It's unfortunate. It's a Razor they didn't have last turn. Okay, game 1 is where you really get your first taste of my inexperience. You know, you can see in the chat there, one of my buddies was telling me that, you know, block hammer, block hammer, block hammer, and you can fatigue Dory. They obviously sideboarded for trying to be fatigued. I was not aware that that was the game plan I should have been going for. I was trying to race them, and for a while I was doing really well, and I don't know, I was pretty ahead of the curve, and I was winning the race, and honestly, things felt pretty good, and then they just all kind of fell apart at the end there. I think that game is 100% drawn up to my inexperience. Razor Reflex ended up being a really good card there by my opponent. I was surprised to see them playing Razor Reflex, but it ended up being really good and ended up helping them win that game. Okay, I mean Rhinar seems fine. I feel like honestly me losing with my inexperience in the matchup there, like 100%. Yeah, that was tough. I don't know. Yeah, I think that was my inexperience in the matchup. Well, Chokeslam's probably pretty good here if I had to guess. That's what these games are for? Yeah, absolutely. I would rather learn how to beat something here as opposed to, like, figuring it out in a tournament. Also, shuffling, like, having my own Remembrance would have been pretty good there. Am I trying to just, like, pulverize my opponent here? Seems kind of memey, but I like it. Then I guess I can bring in the Zealous Beltings, and we'll just say no defense reactions. We're just going to go after them. I love it. I love playing offensive Bravo. Oh, what's that? Is that a Pulverize? Oh, let's see. All right, so I get to make a Surge, Anothos for 6, and then I get to heave Pulverize and have 4 Seismic Surges, and then this thing costs 2 blues. Insane. Maybe not insane, but this is a very good start to the game. Whee! A 3 was rolled. You gain 1 action point. Good. Very good. I love to see my opponents rolling 3s. I guess I could block 2. I can't block with both of these. I mean, I guess I could block with this and then pitch these 2 blues to Pulverize and put this in my arsenal. Or I could put Rouse in my arsenal. Or, I mean, pitch Rouse. I think I'd rather keep Rouse in the deck than Imposing Visage. Rouse is a very good card, especially late game. I was like, don't have a Pummel, bro. Does that thing have Go again? Oh, no. That thing had Go again. I should have read my opponent's cards. Yeah, well, we were going to have to take this much damage anyway, so it's not like anything really changed. Whee! Pay 6 to attack for 14. Feels so broken. And his first attack gets -4. I mean, okay. Yeah, I have no reactions, bro. So you only take 3, but your thing still gets -4. So romping club me for 0. You love to see it. What was it, a Wrecker romp? Alright, so what does my turn look like? So we'll play Rouse, pitching Staunch response, reveal these. So 7 go again. See, the go again turns. That's where it's at. And then... yeah, I didn't think I could do that. So what we're going to do is pitch this to make a surge, and then Anothos for 6. I mean, 13-point turn is not bad. 13-point turn that also makes a surge. Really not bad. Ooh. So I can Zealous Belting and then Spinal. Yeah, we're probably just gonna take whatever our friend here is doing. Toma Fiendel draws 2 cards and gains 6 action points. Oh, so Scabskins, they rolled a 5 and gained 2 action points. Hey, like Scabskins into Tome is like no joke. Go again turns, it's got the juice. Oh, dude, 100%. Like go again turns are where it's at. Yeah, I like in these decks, in my opinion. Seven, buddy. Yeah, I'm just gonna take 7. Go to 22. I've got some life to play with. I might as well use my life total as the resource that it is. I mean, I could always just play Disable, actually, after this, and just, like, Arsenal the Spinal Crush. And maybe I can, like, set up an Activation of Bravo turn on the Spinal Crush. That doesn't feel bad. And then we'll pitch that to play Disable. I mean, this does require cards, or they're just going to give us their arsenal. And honestly, I'm pretty solid either way here. The thing about Bravo that I like so much, honestly, is just like it strips so many cards from your opponent's hand. Like, it forces your opponents to play off like fewer resources and fewer cards, and I just like that's the thing that Guardian is so good for. Oh, block 6. You love to see that. Go again turns. It's Corn. Rather see Thunderquake first. Arsenal this. Oh. Oh. Would you look at that? Asunder Spinal Crush. That doesn't feel broken. God, that's so dumb. And I guess the other option is pitch Showtime and Macho Grande to play Imposing Visage, get a Showtime to search for a blue, and then make a Seismic Surge, Spinal Crush for 9. That doesn't feel bad. You get to play Imposing Visage, pitching Showtime and Macho Grande, get a Showtime, get a blue, you make a Seismic Surge and come in for 5 and come in for 9. You don't have an arsenal, but you do have a 5-card hand. Okay, or it's leave the Spinal Crush there, make a Seismic Surge, come in with Anothos. So it's a 6-point turn, but I get to have a 6-card hand. So is it better to... I mean, I guess the difference in 9 and 6 is roughly a card on average. So... Oh, no. Do I have to pick 6? Yeah, I do. Get a Showtime. Now the question is, what blue do we want to get? Don't really think it matters, to be honest. I mean, this is pretty solid. We get to do this and have a 5-card hand here. Even better, Asunder, Macho Grande, double dominate, double dominance. I mean, like, so like Asunder on Macho Grande or the Spinal Crush would have been cool there. Like, and that was the first line that I saw, and that was one of the first things that I considered doing there. But I think it's better to, I don't know. I think it's better to have a 5-card hand here. But I do like where you're at. Double the dominance. It's like sending a message to your opponent to just let them know, hey, in case you were wondering, we're better than you. Alright, our opponent goes to 18. Gets to have a pretty... Well, oh, would you look at that? Boo. Okay, so Showtime has a card coming for us, which means if we keep our 2 blues, we can just dominate Spinal Crush and then Arsenal whatever our other card is. Or we could Arsenal this card and make another Seismic Surge. I'm just going to take 7 here. It's extremely loose and probably wrong in every front, but I'm just going to take 7 and see what our card brings us. Oh, it's a Pummel. It's a Pummel. Would you look at that? I think Spinal Crush Pummel is better than Dominated Spinal Crush, personally. So, DD, get out of me, Laboratory. Somebody watched too much Dexter's Laboratory growing up. So, I'd rather Arsenal this card, I think. Yeah, we're just going to come in for 9. Play the Pummel. And then Arsenal to Chokeslam. Which feels pretty good. Yes. Yes, let the hate flow through you. Let it flow through you. Oh, no. They had a Reckless Swing. No. Sag. I mean, we can Asunder Chokeslam. And then Arsenal another Chokeslam. Actually, we don't get to Arsenal it, but we do get to Asunder Chokeslam. I mean, 9 dominate with multiple on-hit effects. I mean, one is a crush effect. And they actively have 5 that they can block with. Is this another Reckless Swing? No? Oh. Alright, cool. We take that. Let's go Staunch, Chokeslam, Disable. This hand is really weird. So... there's... I mean, we could Crown here and put the blue Pummel on the bottom. Or put the Staunch on the bottom, I guess. I guess putting the Staunch on the bottom here is a correct play. Alright, is it time for the old refresh Talishar? Alright, cool. So that works out nicely. So we take 2, go to 11 here. We get to make a Seismic Surge. Attack with Zealous Belting, and then we're probably just going to pummel it, honestly, depending on what they do. Because I don't really see the value in, Hammer for 4 and Pummel for 4 is the same amount of damage, except that Pummel gets a card out of their hand on the Zealous Belting. So that's just strictly better. Attack for 5, go again. I wonder how many people have ever, like, actually cheated with Zealous Belting. Like, whether it was on purpose or accident, pitched a card that they didn't know was 6 or greater, or, like, that had, like, maybe that had, like, 5 base or something. I don't know, like, just thinking out loud, like, oh no. So they take 2. They discard a card. Yeah, we'll go Pummel then Buckling Blow. Sag, if that was a blue, we would be rolling here. What does the Seismic Search token actually say? Does it say Guardian attacks? I mean, so we're just going to get the Chokeslam Pummel here. Seems okay. Like, Chokeslam doesn't exactly have, like, a great line of text, I feel like, but it's better than nothing. Because our opponent's been trying to keep cards in their hand to... Oh, I played against this guy a couple times. This Nick Bolas guy. I've played against him a few times. Savage Feast is revealed, so it stays on top. Do you have another Reckless Swing to put us to 7 here? I have had pummels at very, very good times for me because we're stripping cards out of our opponent's hand, like, just with how low they are in general. I'm really hoping that we can just, like, find a Crippling Crush here, give our opponent the business. So we Zealous Belting into Disable. From anywhere in the combat chain. Rolled a 3 and gains 1 action point. I don't even know what this card does. I have to read this card. Sand Sketched Plan. Search your deck for a card, put it into your hand, discard a random card, then shuffle your deck. If the discarded card is 6 or more, gain 2 action points. So they probably have a 6 in their hand, so they can't whiff here, if I had to guess. Yeah, I was like, that would make sense to me. So in order for us to come in for 9, or to come in for, I guess, what would be 14. Ew. Alright, well, the good news is that they're not going to be able to... I can just throw 4 equipment block, take 2, go to 7, and then... I have no arsenal, so it doesn't matter, and they can't do anything else. Yep. So 5 go again. And then disable. I mean, I'm hoping we get to a point to where we can just like set up a dominant attack here to try and win the game. Our opponent goes to 3. Wow, this is not what I would call good. So we're gonna have to imposing Visage, pitching Showtime, and Debilitate, and then we're gonna get a blue hammer for 6 and Arsenal the Staunch response. Honestly, doesn't feel great, but it feels like the best line of play here that we have. I mean, I could get a Pulverize here, but I could just die too. If I try to get like a Pulverize or a Crippling Crush and do some like fancy stuff here. I mean, the chances of me dying are not very high, but nonetheless, it could happen. It could happen. Alright, I'm going to get a blue and play it safe. We'll have Staunch response. Hi, Taryn. Yes, I know. I missed you too, sweet kitty. Taryn's currently under my desk. For anybody who was wondering. So we can pitch a card to Staunch response this turn, and then we can still have so let's go disable, debilitate, arsenal this, and then we still get to have a 4-card hand. Okay, so again, we can block 3, take 1, go to 6 with our equipment, and then we pitch Pummel to play Asunder. And then we have a card coming, so if it's a blue, we're in the red zone. If not, we're reevaluating our plan. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this. I like going to 6. What are you doing, sweet kitty? What are you doing? Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's so good. So good. Okay, what are we doing here? Okay, so we can't play Asunder. Because if we pitch Pummel to play Asunder, we only have 5 to play it. Now, we pitch disable, make a seismic surge, pitch Pummel, activate this, activate Bravo, and then have 7. And then we still get to keep the... And then we still get to keep the Staunch response here. Not that I think it matters, they're probably just dead. Whee! Okay, so game 2, I get the win against Reinar. So there was a lot of back and forth, and the game was pretty close. And then we get towards the end of the game, and I had a Pummel. It was about 3 or 4 turns before the end of the game where I had a Pummel that was just an absolute blowout. Left my opponent with 1 card after they blocked 6, and it puts me in the driver's seat, honestly. So that gave me the tempo that I needed late game to be able to put enough pressure on my opponent. To where when Showtime drew me a 5th card and it happened to be a Crippling Crush, it was just enough to win me the game. Like, dominating Crippling Crush was just enough to win me the game. Like, my opponent ended the game at -8 there. So, I mean, yeah, it was just like good timing and some good draws late in the game really put me ahead and helped me win that game. Oh, no! Wait, is this a bad matchup for me? I just play it like Dash, keep blues in my hand, put Oasis Respite in the deck, and just do my thing. Zealous or Erase Face? If it's a non-attack action card, so it doesn't even have to be a wizard card? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. What are you doing, you silly cat? I mean, play Rouse, reveal these, and then hammer. I mean, the good news is that we don't have to deal a lot of damage. We do have Tectonic Plating to still make Seismic Surges, but that's the only one we have. Oh no, are they going for the combo? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, obviously they're not going to combo me, but like them getting an Aether Wildfire to their deck feels kind of nice for me. Staunch response is just a blue. The measly little blue. Yeah, let's come in for 8 here. I mean, there are quite a few red cards in the deck, but there's like 40 blue cards in this deck too, so I think we're favored here. Your voices are on point today? Well, thank you. Thank you, baby. I'm glad you think so. Do I want to Arsenal this? No, I'm just going to keep it in my hand. Who cares? See? Look at this. 4 blues. Num, 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 num. It doesn't matter what our opponent's going to do here. I mean, I say that, like... I talk all this trash. I hope I talk all this trash and then my opponent rolls me, honestly. My opponent is still disconnected. Big Sag. Don't know what they're doing, but... It isn't in my blood. What's happening? Oh, that's pretty cool. It shows me the Kano cards he has this turn. That's pretty fun. I mean, I'd like to be able to keep 2 cards just to be able to Surge Hammer for 6. Like, I feel like that's probably the floor of my turns. And they're passing. Man, I could get kind of greedy here and go Asunder Hammer for 7 and hope they don't kill me in response. Now, they have played 2 Aether Wildfires already, so the odds of them killing me I feel like are not super high. Yeah, I like to live on the edge. I have no respect for my opponent. None. Because the better play would have just been to hammer for 6, hold up 2, and then a blue in my hand, but... Zap. Deals 1 arcane damage. Not scared of your little arcane damage spells. Tomafiendel. That's bad. It's bad for me, good for them. I hope you drew all reds, opponent. So you can't play Kano anymore. Well, they didn't draw all reds. Deals damage. You may banish a wizard non-attack action card with cost 1. With resources cost less than or equal to the damage dealt by Reverberate. If you do, you may play this turn as over an instant. About to Reverberate me for 2. For 2? Oh, wow. And we're popping Metacarpus nodes this turn. Yeah, we'll take 2. We're living on the edge. We're Terra Sundering this turn. Oh, wow. Immediate punishment. Immediate. They draw 2 cards. Oh, man, I'm going to die this turn because I'm a moron. Okay, I mean, plays Energy Potion. Like, that's a good one to play. Then they're going to zap me for 1. Ow. My Terra Asunder resolves. Yes. Yes! They go to 23. They have no cards to discard. Alright, well, I played extremely poorly that turn because their turn would have done absolutely nothing had I just hammered for 6. They'd be at 24, and instead of taking the 3 that we did take, we would be at 36. So, it was really just sheer stupidity on my part. I mean, I guess it wasn't really stupidity because I actively said I'm just not going to respect them and just play my cards. We'll go Debilitate and Visage. So we can just come in for 11 here and just let them do what they want. So we can come in for 11 here and have no AB up, or we pitch blue, make a Seismic Surge, hammer for 6, and then we have 3 AB, and we get to, and we can pitch this for the 3rd AB, or if we don't need it, we can just keep it in our hand. And we can Arsenal the Crippling Crush. I think I like that play better. I also think it's smarter. Yeah, hammer for 6 feels pretty good here. What is it, sweet kitty? I know. Oh, it's a sweet little kitty, huh? Alright, so our opponent just blocked 6. Doesn't really matter. Arsenal this. Eek. What is this? I mean, we go to 27 and just come in for 11 here. Like, this is like the worst hand in the world. Yeah, because to be able to play the Crippling Crush here, we have to keep all of our cards, which means we take 6. Or I can pitch a blue and pitch my... I can take 3 here. So I take 3 and I come in for 5. This is so bad. Yeah, we're just going to take 6 here and just try to come in for 11 and hope it's good enough, which is crazy. Oh, it's an instant. Yeah, now they just kind of get to have a field day in response to us putting the Crippling Crush on the stack. The Trip Red hand was not good. Not only was it Trip Reds, but it was Pummels too. Oh, clicked off my camera there. Whoopsie. Uh-oh. Lesson in Lava was the card on top of their deck, so I'm just dead here. Because they're going to Lesson in Lava, go get Ether Wildfire, and then if they have Blazing Ether here, they get to deal me damage here. I take that, then they Ether Wildfire, Stormstrider's Blazing Ether, and just kill me. Yeah, this is not looking good. Activate Metacarpus nodes. Yeah, so I mean, this is what? It's going to be for 5. We're going to go to 22. We're now losing the race. I mean, they're just searching for Ether Wildfire or Blazing Ether. Like, then shuffle your deck and put it on top. So you do have to activate Kano. So Lesson in Lava is not just like a bonkers card. I mean, I guess putting it into their hand would actually be worse for Kano. So putting it on top of the deck is what they want it to do. Crack Energy Potion. Use those 3 to use Kano. What do they get? Blazing Ether. So they're just going to play this card. I mean, it's going to deal 5. Activate Ragamuffin's Hat. Okay. That's one card back on top of their deck. Kano happens. Oh boy. Man, I'm probably just like super dead here. Pitch a card to play Metacarpus node. Yeah, when you take 6, go to 16, and then I'm going to take 12 off this one and go to 4. Take 11. Oh, 5 and yeah. Okay. Because the Crucible made the first one deal 1 more. Yeah, so we're at 5. Our opponent's at 12. I'm going to be honest, the only turn that I feel like I really could have played differently was the Asunder turn. That was just me being a putz. And then we'll hammer for 6 here, and then we have AB4, or we have 4 AB up if we need it, and we're just going to Arsenal the Spinal Crush here. So this lets them play their next wizard action as though it were an instant. As though it were an instant. If you've played another wizard non-attack action card, didn't get to finish reading it. How is this for 9? So Kano. Kano is one of those decks that, you know, I really understand my matchup. Like, I really understand how to play against that deck and race it. I kind of figured Bravo would have a good matchup, you know, having having AB, having a solid amount of blues, like I figured put me in a really good spot. There was a turn in the game where I could either pitch my hand to prevent some amount of damage, basically, or it was try to come in with a card. And I chose to try and come in, and that was the turn that really allowed them to catch up because I feel like I was blocking enough AB and continuing to put pressure on them with hammer and other things, and I was in a pretty decent spot, honestly. And then at the end of the game, like, I had like a mostly red hand, and I got put in a really awkward spot where I couldn't really do much. And I made the decision to try and go for it, and it cost me the game. And it's honestly really that simple. Break, and we're back. We're playing against Fi. Did I have Oasis in the deck? Yeah. I did have Oasis in the deck. I feel like all of these are good cards. Man, maybe we can cut Rouse. I don't really want to mess with the blue count too much. Let's try it and see what happens. I don't know if this is correct or not, but I like having a bunch of defense reactions. Probably could have just cut the Staunches, to be honest. They chose to go first. Interesting. I'm willing to just take one here. I'm just going to cover it up and yep, we'll do that, and then Spinal Crush for 9, and then we'll have a Fate Foreseen in Arsenal. Do they have another defense reaction? They have to. I mean, they're still like Crush is still active. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Like, and that's fine. What is his hand? His hand is so bad. So bad. Jeez. This hand is impeccably bad. That's cool. It's always fun to play against somebody you know. I mean, am I just blocking with Showtime here? I feel like I am. I feel like I'm just going to take 3 here. And they just passed their turn. All right, well, I mean, we're going to make a Seismic Surge to try and have something to do, but man, we're still only hammering for 4 here. This is so bad. Yep, we'll go to 33 here. I kind of like having the Crippling Crush here. I keep hoping they'll put something out there that my opponent will put something out there that I can block Crown with. Because I'm going to put the Oasis Respite on the bottom. Lol, Sag. I mean, it's not a big deal because I'll still have it to Arsenal. God, I hate giving up a point here, but I think it's worth doing this. I mean, yep, take 2. I'll go to 28. You gonna break mask here? I was like, I don't think it's worth it, but jeez. Yeah, I mean, like I have to play Crippling Crush here. I have to put pressure on my opponent. Like, it's really not good to let them have this, but I get so tired of hearing those noises. I do get to Arsenal the Oasis Respite here. Wow, they just took 11 there. Interesting. I mean, it's weird because sometimes that's a correct play in the Fi deck, just because of the way it, like, your draws line up and everything happens. Yeah, we'll take 1 here. I like to be able to keep to block with Pummel or use the Pummel to play Oasis Respite to cover something up. Because I really like play Asunder. I mean, could go use Imposing Visage. I think I'd rather just play Asunder. Yeah, so I'm gonna pitch this. Activate Tectonic Plating. I'm gonna play Asunder, and then I'm gonna activate Anothos. Like, they can give us 2 pieces of equipment and a card and cover it up, which is fine. But we are going to get their Shuko if they decide to go that route. And I think getting rid of our opponent's Shuko here would be pretty solid. Guy we're playing against, he's one of the North Carolina guys that I've ran into at some ProQuest. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. I like catching up with him when I see him. Honestly, I like catching up with all the North Carolina guys. They're all really nice. They're all pretty cool. I have to say that's probably one of the funnest things about traveling for ProQuest season is just all the people that I've met over the last 6-8 months, and just getting to see all those people and kind of catch up and talk to them and see what's going on in their lives. Let's go Cranial Crush, Pummel, Inspiring Vision, Imposing Visage. I mean, so this feels pretty decent because I can pitch the Chokeslam, the red Chokeslam, to play Oasis Respite and gain a life here. And then I get the Crippling Crush. So it's really like a 5-point hand. I mean, and they're ending on Energy Potion, which, like, a lot of people are playing right now, but it also just sets me up very well to be able to just run my Crippling Crush out here for 11. Now, our opponent can throw their hand at it if they want to. Ooh, they decide to go to 13 and just take 3-card hand. Or I guess 2-card hand in an arsenal. I always like kind of shortcut and say 3-card hand, but so we can take some damage here, and then we can we take some damage, we use the Fate Foreseen, and then we hammer, make a surge, or we make a surge and hammer, and then we arsenal the Crippling Crush here. The fact that we've seen all 3 Crippling Crushes this early in the game has been quite good. I'm gonna take the first one because I'd rather use my Fate Foreseen like on the second or third chain link to be able to. That's pretty good. I like to use my Fate Foreseen to be able to cover up something. Like, I'm taking a little bit of a risk here on the fourth chain link, or on the third chain link. Man. I guess it's really not that scary. They have no cards in hand. And then... yeah, we're going to want a blue on top to be able to ensure that we can play our stuff here. And then this is going to be for a lot, so we're going to go to 10. They're going to arsenal their Phoenix Flame. So I'm always curious to know, like, do they still have another Phoenix? Okay, so they do have another Phoenix Flame in there. Hi, Tyrion. Ah, sweet kitty. What are you doing, sweet kitty? Taryn's being my little buddy today. She's my stream buddy. So our opponent takes 4, goes to 9. We arsenal the Crippling Crush. Alright, now this is not bad because we can block. Alright, so I'm honestly extremely tempted to throw my Tectonic Plating here and then throw a Showtime. Well... probably throw in the Imposing Visage, and then I can dominate a Crippling Crush. Or honestly, I could just block with Equipment here, and then I could activate Crater Fist and come in for 13. I kind of like coming in for 13 here. Like, I think it's pretty rare that you have the all-blue hand where you get to do something like this. And I get to make another Seismic Surge for the following turn. Yep, let's use Equipment Galore. We'll take 1, go to 6. I mean, if they do play something that requires me to block, I will, but... whew, going to 1 is a risky proposition. I think it's definitely better to block 2 and then take 3, go to 3, because 3 is a lot better for us than 1, because 1 basically just puts us blocking everything. Alright, so Surge goes off. We make a new Surge. We activate Bravo. And we come in for 13 Dominate. Again, it's like IKEA Starvo. Build your own Starvo activation. Woo! Okay, so round 4 we draw 5. We end up playing against one of my buddies, Help Me Jace, and... you know, we're playing against Fi, and honestly, my experience with this matchup is always from the Fi side, and it's always that unique tempo. So, you know, like, having tempo is a big thing. I saw 2 or 3 Crippling Crushes. I can't remember if it was all 3 or just 2 of them, but it was insane. I saw 2 or 3, and I'm pretty sure I got to dominate every one of them. Like, it was a really good draw for me. And the first 1 or 2, my buddy just kind of took them, honestly, and then let the card effects hit. Now, I get it. If you don't have an unmovable ready to roll, like, you're just kind of stuck making it happen. Now, at the end of the game, we get to Crater's Fist and dominate a Crippling Crush to win the game, which is, like, kind of insane, honestly. It's kind of like Christmas Miracle Land. You hear me make the comment that it's kind of like IKEA Starvo. It's like build your own Starvo activation. And that's honestly really what it felt like. So my overall takeaway is that, you know, Bravo is good. One of the things that I think I'd never really thought about is that when you're playing Bravo and you wanna hit big with Bravo, you got to take some damage. Like, it's not for free. You have to take some damage on the chin and then, you know, try to push back and take some tempo. So it's all about deciding what hands can do that and what hands can't. And that's really one of my biggest takeaways from the few games that I played here. 2-2 is not a great finish, but I'm honestly not very upset with it because I've never really played Bravo before, and it was a lot of fun and a very good learning experience for me. So yeah, this was Bravo. If you guys have any questions or comments, you know, anything you feel like I should have done differently, changes to the list, you know, yada, 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 hit me in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you got to say. But if not, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, guys. Take it easy.